Welcome back to the DebateGate Sports Podcast, where we're bringing you a new series called Where Are They Now? This series looks back at recent draft classes in sports, and we see where those players are in today's day and age, starting with the 2018 NBA Draft. Some of these players turned out to be great, some of them, well, not so much. We hope you enjoy the video and consider liking and subscribing to the channel for more content of this sort. It would really help the channel, and Josh and I would really appreciate it. Now, let's get on to it.
Pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Wins the game at the buzzer!
With the first pick, the Phoenix Suns selected big man DeAndre Ayton out of Arizona, who was the consensus number one pick at the time. While currently still playing in his third season at the moment, Ayton has started 171 out of 178 games with the franchise, and has improved over the course of his career. This double-double machine is averaging 16 points, 10.6 rebounds, and is shooting an efficient 58.8% from the field. The Suns' addition of Chris Paul helped Ayton tremendously, with his big frame and CP3's pinpoint passing forming a lethal pick-and-roll duo. Looking back, Ayton may not have become the best player in the draft, but he's been key to the Suns' final run, so you cannot fault Phoenix for taking him safely at number 1. At pick number 2, the Kings took power forward center Marvin Bagley III out of Duke. Again, Bagley was a high-rated prospect coming off a great season in college, and many thought he could translate his offensive prowess into the NBA. That's not exactly what happened. Bagley is averaging 14.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, and shooting 50% from the field. However, he struggles to shoot the three ball well, which really holds back his offensive game. On the defensive end, he is worse. When Bagley is on the court, opponents' offensive ratings go up 1.6 points per 100 possessions. A plethora of injuries has not helped matters either, as he's only played 118 games throughout 3 years. With all this in mind, I think it's safe to say that Sacramento swung and missed here at number 2. At number 3, the Mavericks drafted Mark Cuban's hero, Luka Doncic. By year 3, Luka Magic is already a household name for NBA fans, and honestly, I don't think it's far-fetched to say that this 22-year-old has GOAT potential. After year 3, he's already started in all 199 games and is averaging 25.7 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 7.7 assists. He's made the All-NBA first team twice already and will be the franchise player for the Mavs for a lifetime as long as he stays there. His ability to score on all 3 levels, combined with exquisite playmaking, led the Mavs to the playoffs the last 2 years. And he's been outstanding in the postseason, with already 5 40-point playoff games in his career. I can't say enough good things about Luka, and when it's all said and done, I think he will be an all-time great. The Memphis Grizzlies selected Jaren Jackson Jr. with the 4th pick, the lengthy big man from Michigan State. Through 3 years, he is also seeming to be a solid young piece that has built the core that includes Ja Morant, Dillon Brooks, and Brandon Clark. Despite missing all but 11 games this past season, JJJ is still averaging 15.4 points, 1.5 blocks, and is shooting 37.4% from 3. The reason I love Jackson Jr. so much is because his game has all the components that fit the modern NBA big man. He can shoot well, he can rebound and block shots, and he's athletic enough to run the floor. I'm interested to see how he bounces back from injury, but I think it's safe to say that JJJ has been more than successful in the NBA thus far. Pick number 5 was Trae Young, the deep-range shooter from Oklahoma, and he went to the Atlanta Hawks. Young has already been the man in Atlanta, starting all 204 games he's played in, and is averaging 24.1 points, 8.9 assists, and he's shooting a career 37.4% from three-point land. Now, Young is by no means my favorite player in the league, mostly due to his inefficiency and poor decision-making, but even I can't deny that he is a special talent. Many NBA fans saw him perform on a big stage during these NBA playoffs when he led the Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals. Ice Trae will be an all-star for years to come and is one of the faces for the future of the NBA. Great pick by the Hawks. At number 6, the Magic went with Texas center Mo Bamba, who was raw but had a load of potential with his long wingspan and shot blocking ability combined with a three-pointer threat. However, through 3 years, we haven't really seen much of Bamba. He's only started 6 of his 155 games for Orlando and has only gotten around 15 minutes a game. With that time, he's averaging 6.4 points, 5.2 rebounds, and has 1.3 blocks. Bamba has been incredibly underused for being the 6th pick, especially now that the Magic are clearly tanking. I still believe that Bamba can be something in the league, especially because of his build and skill set, as he is hovering around bust level thus far in his career. Marvin Bagley's teammate, Wendell Carter Jr., went to the Bulls at 7, so he's someone who I've seen play a lot with me being a Bulls fan. He started 131 of his 141 games and is averaging 11 points, 8.2 rebounds, and shooting the basketball at a 50.6% rate from the field. On paper, the stats seem to say he was alright, but Bulls fans will tell you that Carter never really seemed to hit his stride in Chicago. He was very, very poor in the pick-and-roll defense and often played smaller than his 6'10 body suggested on offense, leading to limited production. A scenery change came in the middle of the 2020-21 season as Wendell was traded to Orlando. There's still more than enough time for Carter to succeed with the Magic, but as of right now, I think the Bulls would have liked to redo this pick. Colin Sexton, the man out of Alabama, has started 197 out of 207 games at point guard and shooting guard for the Cavaliers during his 3-year career. Throughout those games, he's averaged 20.2 points, 3.4 assists, shot the ball well from 3 at 38.5% for his career. Looking at Sexton's tape and stats, it is clear that he has improved pretty much every year, which is great to see from a young guy. Sexton is a great scorer but can improve on both his playmaking ability and his defense as well. I am a fan of Sexton, and seeing how much he has improved, continuing at his rate, we will likely see him as a solid NBA starter for years to come. The Knicks drafted forward Kevin Knox with the 9th pick, and this is another that has come back to bite them. Regarded by many as the most disappointing player in the draft, Knox was not the player that Knicks fans wanted him to be. Over time, we've seen both his minutes and usage percentage go down as he struggles to improve. Knox is averaging 8.5 points and 3.2 rebounds, but shoots it at a sub-37% clip, which is not good for an NBA player. A negative assist-to-turnover ratio has hurt him as well. Kevin Knox was a bit of a question mark coming into the draft, but most thought he would be better than this. Kevin Knox is unfortunately a certified bust. Pick number 10 was Mikal Bridges, another key starting role in the Suns' pass to the finals. The 3-and-D wing out of Villanova was actually drafted by the 76ers. On the day of the draft, however, general manager Bruce Brown sent Bridges to Phoenix for the Suns' selection of Zaire Smith. That didn't go well. In 3 seasons with Phoenix, Bridges is averaging 10.2 points, 3.8 rebounds, and his 7'2 wingspan produces 1.4 steals. A breakout season came in 2020-21, where he averaged 13.5 points and shot 42% from 3. Bridges fits like a glove for the Suns, with his great defense and his catch-and-shoot shooting, which are both so valuable in the modern NBA. With Bridges' length and playstyle, I think he is one of the best role players in the NBA. I think he can be a 1 or 2-time All-Star down the road. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went to the Clippers in 2018, but only played 1 season in LA. 2 years ago, he was traded to OKC as a part of the Paul George deal, and it was with the Thunder where Gilgeous-Alexander began to play really, really good. Now the starting point guard for OKC, he is averaging 16.7 points, 4.3 rebounds, and has 1.1 steals. He was injured for the majority last year, but it is clear that Shai has the talent and leadership to be a star in the NBA. I can only see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander getting better from this point on, as his numbers really increased when he was traded to Oklahoma City. The Hornets had the 12th pick, and they used it on Miles Bridges, the high-flying forward out of Michigan State. The best way to describe his usage thus far has been as an energy guy, which really isn't a bad thing. While he's only started 108 of his 211 games for Charlotte, he is a force off the bench and still logs over 25 minutes a game. He has a pretty all-around play style and is mostly known for his ferocious highlight dunks, averaging 10.8 points, 5.1 rebounds. To say that he isn't a part of the Hornets' success is just silly. While he may not have been the franchise guy the Hornets had hoped for, he has been great for the Hornets rebuilding. At pick number 13, in the reach of the century, the Clippers took Jerome Robinson, a point guard out of Boston College. This is by far the worst bust of the 2018 draft class, as Robinson isn't even in the league anymore when the Washington Wizards released him earlier this year. He's only started 12 games and only played in 113 during his 3-year tenure. He averaged 4.5 points and 1.8 rebounds and has struggled due to his lack of a defensive presence and his inefficient shooting. The three ball was his main strength in college, but he failed to knock it down consistently in the NBA. Even after being traded to Washington, these problems remained, which is why Robinson is now out of the league. Michael Porter Jr. is one of the most interesting players in the video and has had a roller coaster of a career up to this point. Initially in college, he was projected as a top 5 pick, but a back injury meant that he slid to pick 14. He missed his entire rookie year due to another back surgery and has started 62 of 116 games in 2 years. He has found a role in the starting lineup consistently this year for Denver. He has incredible height and length for a small forward, and if he can improve on the defensive end, MPJ can be a definite all-star because of his 3-level offensive attack. He's averaging 14.4 points per game and 6.1 rebounds per game, and like I said, the only thing really holding him back is his defense. With a bit more experience in the league, I think MPJ can be a star in the NBA with an increased role. I'm really high on this guy. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you want it. Let me know down in the comments if you guys want to see more content like this, if you enjoyed this series. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you and goodbye.